Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys. Dan Quinn addresses frustration from Micah Parsons. Following Dallas' 49-17 win over the New York Giants on Sunday afternoon, star edge rusher Micah Parsons took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to post a pair of cryptic messages after not recording a tackle or a sack in the dominant victory and quickly exiting the locker room during media availability postgame. His first post stated, "I ain't been this speechless in a long time," before responding to a post from Sam Williams by saying, "Free me then," in response to Williams saying there's no need to free him. When asked about any frustration that Parsons may have had on Sunday, defensive coordinator Dan Quinn said that Parsons' competitive fire impacted his emotions at times yesterday as he looked to make a bigger impact on the big win. That's any competitor, right? You always want to make an impact, and sometimes his impact is other people's chances to get things because of the attention that goes his way, Quinn said. Any competitor can get frustrated by that. There have been games like that and there will be more like that. Parsons is fresh off a game in Philadelphia where he accounted for 9 tackles and 1.5 sacks, but his performance against the Giants served as his first game of the season that he didn't account for a tackle or sack as New York keyed in on taking Parsons out of the game. "I think it's hard," Quinn said. "It's hard for anybody to be in that space because what you're capable of is exceptional. When someone is trying to say that you will not ruin the game, that can be hard for any competitor. There are times where it's easier to deal with and times where it's not. Yesterday was one of those where I imagine it was harder." Despite being keyed in on when playing on the defensive line, Parsons found some success playing in coverage on 10 snaps that he played at true linebacker. The highlight of his day came when he cut off an opening across the middle vacated by a Jaron Kearse blitz on a 3rd down that resulted in Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito not making a throw. "That'd be a good example of him dropping in coverage when the protection is coming to him," Quinn said. "You see how that could be an advantage for sliding all the protection to you when you're actually dropping. You do have to do that from time to time to make sure that a team is not putting all of the time and attention on him. It's not always the easiest thing, but it is the best thing for the team and that's why we do it." Cowboys named best option for Super Bowl champion head coach. The Dallas Cowboys could unexpectedly emerge as an ideal landing spot for a 6-time Super Bowl champion head coach. As NBC Sports' Peter King mentions in his latest Football Morning in America column, he considers the Cowboys as one of the 4 best potential options if Bill Belichick is fired by the New England Patriots and the Cowboys move on from Mike McCarthy. King stresses that Dallas will only be on the market for a new head coach if they have a quick exit from the playoffs. "The Cowboys could be in play, I think, only if they don't win the division, have some sketchy outings down the stretch and go winless in the playoffs," writes King. "In that case, I could see Jerry Jones chasing Belichick, repeating history from 2 decades ago. Before you say Belichick would never work for Jerry, remember 2003, when we all thought Bill Parcells would never work for Jones. Cowboys' best possible landing spot for Bill Belichick." The other 3 teams King mentions are the Los Angeles Chargers, Washington Commanders and Chicago Bears. Of those 3 other teams, only the Chargers could be considered a legit playoff contender with the addition of Belichick. Since the start of the season, there has been little indication that the Cowboys will move on from McCarthy. However, those rumblings will start soon enough if Dallas suffers another short playoff exit considering they've won just 1 playoff game during McCarthy's 3 seasons in Dallas. Furthermore, McCarthy initially signed a 5-year contract during the 2020 offseason, meaning he has just 1 year left on his deal after this season. In other words, the Cowboys should have no issue moving on from McCarthy and eating his remaining salary if Dallas fails to advance deep in the postseason. Why Patriots could very well move on from Bill Belichick. Meanwhile, the idea of the Patriots moving on from Belichick is becoming a realistic possibility with New England now holding the worst record in the AFC at 2-8 following their 10-6 loss to the Indianapolis Colts. The Patriots rank second to last in offense with 14.1 points per game and aren't showing any progress with Mac Jones at quarterback. They're averaging just 13.3 points per game in their past 3 games, all losses. Prior to their latest loss, there had been reports of New England dismissing their head coach becoming a possible reality in the near future. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated reported during an appearance on The Herd with Colin Cowherd that discussions have taken place regarding the Patriots moving on from their longtime head coach. These discussions have taken place, Breer said back in October. I can tell you for sure, Robert hears the criticism, he hears the anger locally, and people in the building know for a fact that he's hearing the anger from the fan base. I think now we're at the point where, is this just going to be a flat-out firing? NFL analyst Gary Myers also speculated that the Cowboys could make sense as a landing spot, via trade, for Belichick if Dallas fails to make an impact in the playoffs under McCarthy for the 4th straight season. This is simply connect the dots speculation on my part. Follow along. If Bill Belichick is out in May after the season and Robert Kraft looks to trade him, he's under contract. Don't count out the Cowboys, who can't win a big game with Mike McCarthy, Myers wrote on Monday, November 6. Considering Belichick is just 16 wins away behind Don Shula for the all-time wins mark by a head coach, and when factoring in that Dallas would give the 71-year-old the best possible chance to win immediately, the idea of the Cowboys making Belichick their next head coach is a viable one. If Dallas moves on from McCarthy, don't be surprised if Belichick immediately emerges as the favorite to take over. Dak Prescott sends strong message on underperforming Cowboys teammate. The latest Dallas Cowboys rumors have offered plenty of speculation about Michael Gallup's future. Yet, Dak Prescott is not among those who has lost confidence in Gallup. Prescott is not buying the Cowboys' news about Gallup's slow start to the season in 2023. The Dallas quarterback emphasized that he plans to keep throwing Gallup the football despite his recent struggles. If anybody has been a fan of MG, Michael Gallup, I know everybody in here can attest, it's me, Prescott explained during a November 12, 2023 press conference. And understand that he's had some tough games, some adversity, but that's life. Last thing he's going to do is fold, and last thing he's going to do is allow that to get to him. I'm not going to allow that to get to me and not feed the guy, so happy for him, honestly. Not surprised at all, happy for him. Obviously a huge catch down in the end zone, making another big one later, and that's who he is. You get the ball up, and give him an opportunity and watch him go do the rest. And as I said, when he could do that, and other guys are winning, interested to see how they play us. What they decide to do on defense. Michael Gallup still has 3 seasons remaining on a 5-year, $57 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys. Gallup's 5-year, $57.5 million contract has prompted speculation that the Cowboys could opt to move on from the receiver this offseason. The veteran had 2 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown against the Giants in Week 10. This marked Gallup's first score of the season. As the Cowboys continue to look for red zone solutions, Gallup's production in this department would be a major boost. Even with the recent performance, Gallup's numbers do not quite live up to the team's financial commitment for the receiver. Through the first 10 weeks, Gallup has 24 catches for 313 yards and a touchdown. Gallup's deal is slated to run through the 2026 season. The wideout's salary is scheduled to jump up from $1.6 million to $8.5 million in 2024. Gallup's cap hit will also rise from $6.7 million to $13.8 million next season. Dallas does have an out in Gallup's contract in 2024 that allows the team to move on from the receiver this offseason. The move comes with an expensive $13 million dead cap hit to release Gallup ahead of the final 3 years of his deal. Cowboys news. Owner Jerry Jones called out Michael Gallup earlier this NFL season. Owner Jerry Jones created more Cowboys news earlier this season by criticizing Gallup's play. This has heightened speculation about Gallup's future with the team. Jones admitted that Gallup is still showing signs of an ACL injury sustained during the 2021 season. I thought Gallup had a little problem in the game, against the Chargers on October 16, Jones said during an October 17 interview with 105.3 The Fans, Sean and RJ. He's evolving still, I think. I know he gets tired of hearing this, but trying to get on back from where he was because of his injury, but we had good games from our receivers yesterday. I don't know that you have a timeline on Gallup's previous injury impacting his play, but that play to start the game in the back of the end zone, that was a play that you got to have. And so, again, I'm not saying there's a timeline, and I'm not saying he has a timeline,